Nice.
All right, what's going on, guys? Rob and Slim Show, and we are back.
That was cool. Thank you so much, Ben. That was.
Are you catfish?
Are you catfish? I forgot to ask him. Our friend LC from now on wanted us to ask every guest, are you catfish?
Are you catfish? Okay.
Catfish?
Rob and Slim Show.
Hi, this is Ed.
Ed Baker, how you doing?
Ed, I have a very
I'm good.
important question. I want to get this question out of the way in the beginning of the interview. Are you catfish?
Am I catfish?
Yes,
Yeah.
our friend wanted us. We're taking a new. We're doing a new thing with our show where one of our friends every week has a question they want us to ask our guest, and his question this week was, "Are you catfish?" Which we don't even know what that means.
I don't. I've heard the term, but I don't know how it would relate to me.
I don't either. He's Jamaican. I don't know what he's thinking at the time. So he makes song parodies, but they're not that good. They're great. Ed, you're running for president, right?
That's right.
And what is your platform? Are you in a party or are you independent?
Yeah, I'm not a member of any political party. A true independent. And so for me, I look at a lot of these other candidates, especially these running in these primaries that we hear so much about in the mainstream media. And to me, they don't sound like people that are going to unite the country. They sound like people that are going to represent a certain group of Americans and not another group. In my case, nobody's going to agree with me on everything, but just because we disagree on one issue doesn't mean we're not going to be on the same page on the next 3 or 4 important issues to you. And I just think that I'm somebody that has a better shot at uniting Americans than these other candidates.
Now, do you have you been in debates?
Well, I don't think I would be invited to any of those debates at this point because, thankfully with a show like yours, we're going to raise some awareness.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm truly an outsider. But I wouldn't be included in those debates also because I'm not a member of those parties. Right now, they're debating to try to win their party primary so that they get into the general election. I'm automatically in the general election as a true independent.
Okay. And do you feel that any of them are doing anything right?
If any of them are doing anything right, I'm sure that each person out there has something that they're passionate about, and these candidates are certainly going to be touching on some of those issues. So, an individual out there is going to get fired up. Donald Trump has a lot of people that are really pissed off at the way things are going. He's got a lot of people fired up. And in that way, he's brought up a lot of things, got a lot of people talking about some issues. Obviously Bernie Sanders has a huge following as well. But at the end of the day, I think you got to look at the big picture and are these people really that different from one another? Whoever gets elected, are they going to represent the same people in the end, or are they going to represent the everyday American? And I just feel too often that we end up with 2 people out of those primaries. And, whether you want to call it choosing the lesser of 2 evils or that at the end of the day, they're very similar. And I want to give people an alternative option and one that hopefully we can get enough awareness and get on ballots, which is a big challenge, so that we actually have a chance to compete.
Now, how do you feel we should fix the country?
Well, for one thing, I think we need to definitely get back to the Constitution, and I think a lot of things that we end up debating and arguing over, or a lot of the trouble that we get in is because we don't follow that to begin with. And then the other thing just is that I think we need to really get on to states and individuals, making decisions and communities making decisions rather than having the federal government say this is how it's going to be in every state and in every community across the country. I think that's a big thing.
We got another presidential candidate in the studio, and his name is what's your name?
I'm the Slamborghini, baby.
And what do you feel we have to do, Slamborghini?
I feel we need to have the booze and guns program.
And what's that entail?
For as many booze as you can drink down, you get a gun.
Okay. Like each shot you get a gun?
Each fucking shot you get a gun, baby.
How do you feel about gun control, Ed?
Well, what was his name? Slim or
Slamborghini.
Slam.
Slim's the little guy next to me.
he's slurring a little bit there, so I wasn't sure. But no, you know, I was interviewed by a blog, and I hate to say that if I'm going to remember the name, but it plays off the LBGT thing, and it's Ladies, Beer, Guns, and Troops. And after the interview, they endorsed me and gave me a nice endorsement and everything. So I think that Slam and, you know, we might be on the same page there a little bit, but I'm all for gun owner rights. I personally have never owned a gun, never fired a gun, but I do believe that I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe that you know, there's a lot of people that have guns, and very few of them make poor decisions with them that get, you know, put in the media. And it seems like every time somebody breaks a law or does something, you know, it seems like everyone is punished for it that did no wrong. So, you know, that's the thing with that. The troops are a huge, you know, priority to me. I think that you know, whoever wins this election, that we need to put our active military and our veterans and their families at the, you know, top of the list to make sure they're being taken care of.
Yeah. Now, what? Have you ever heard of Vermin Supreme?
It sounds familiar.
He endorses a Slamborghini.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess we're 1-1 then. I got that blog, and we got him for him. So, you know, the truth is, man, that, you know, there's like 1,300 people that filed to run for president. There's a lot of independents, a lot of small party people out there, and I've talked to probably 20 or 30 of them that, you know, nobody's ever heard of, and most of them are really, you know, pretty like-minded in a lot of ways, and so I encourage people. There's a lot of people out there that think that voting is a waste of time, you know, and I fight that a lot, where people tell me I'm not even going to vote because, you know, presidents are selected, not elected, and things like this. I encourage people to, you know, go out, find somebody, whether it's me, whether it's another.
And that's why I'm voting for myself, baby. The Slamborghini 2016. Yeah!
I've had about 20 other people say about the same thing to me, so that's why they're voting for themselves. But you know, seriously though, I think that it sends a much louder message. You know, if we had 20% of the population out there voting third party or in the, you know, some, you know, writing in people even that are legitimate, you know, people that have filed the paperwork and are running, I think it sends a better message than not voting at all.
Yeah. Have you ever done drugs?
Not so much. I've smoked some marijuana back in the day, but very little. And I'm all for legalization of marijuana, you know, across the country. I live in Oregon, and it's legal here. But
I'm on every drug known to man, baby, and I'm gonna keep it that way when I become president.
You're gonna legalize all the drugs?
Fuck yeah!
I'm not a big fan of that idea, and I've talked to some people that think that is the answer, that everything should be legalized, people should be free to do what they want, but I've talked to so many people, you know, where heroin or crack have affected themselves or their family, and to me, I'm not for that, but I am for the legalization of marijuana.
Slamborghini, didn't you have something with drug dens? Didn't you have a drug den?
Oh, we had a crack smoking bus.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah. You see, you load all the crackheads onto the bus, and they do their crack on the bus. And they don't bother anyone. They're not all cracked out on your fucking boardwalks. They're not in your casinos. You go to the boardwalk, you don't want to see some fucking crackhead. In front of your little children.
Are you single, Ed?
I am single, and I was just going to mention just yesterday, the apartment complex that I live in, someone was saying that just outside our apartment, someone was shooting up heroin, and they walked outside with their 6-year-old daughter, you know, and she witnessed that and all this kind of thing. So maybe the bus would be a better spot for that, for these people, so that they're out of view. Make sure you get some tinted windows or something. But yeah, in any event, no, I am single. I never married, and so, you know, maybe we'll have to have a game show or something. Who wants to be first lady? And
I was going to say, do you think it helps or hurts your campaign?
I think in a way it probably hurts in a sense, because, you know, they sit there and talk about the importance of the first lady and the history of it, and who, you know, right now you're looking at candidates and they talk about Donald Trump compared to, you know, Ted Cruz's, you know, who it would be, and then of course you have Bill Clinton that might be a first. Well, I'm not sure what you call that, first man or what that would end up being. But in the other side of it is that I do touch on some really controversial issues and some things that potentially could.
It's hurting till it's squirting, baby. Yeah.
It could put some people in harm's way, and so there's a part of me that says if I did have a someone that was that
you're in
close to
harm's
me,
way when you're hurting and squirting, baby.
Ed, I got an important question. How do you feel about clowns with dildos?
Clowns with dildos?
Clowns
Like
with
chasing
dildos, like chasing
people with
with
them.
dildos.
Because the Slamborghini endorses that.
It's their right, baby. It's a free country. Freedom of expression,
there's probably
baby.
An audience where that would be welcome. I don't know that I wouldn't want to walk out on the street. I live in Portland, so it could happen where you walk out on the street and there could be a clown out there with a dildo. I wouldn't be real comfortable with that.
So punch him in the nose, motherfucker.
Step on his feet or something.
That's his campaign slogan. Punch him in the nose, motherfucker.
All right.
That is a good one. Oh, goddamn.
Where's your show out of, guys? Where are you guys located?
New Jersey.
Yeah, dirty Jersey.
One of my big passions is the events of September 11th, and it's something that I encourage people to continue to research. And it's been 15 years since the events of September 11th in 2001, and it's Richard Gage. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth, or if any of your listeners, but I've worked pretty closely with him on some projects here in Portland, and that's just one of the things where the other mainstream candidates are not going to touch that, and I certainly don't believe the official story to be what happened on that day. So any listeners out there that resonates with, I certainly also encourage you to get to know me and go to edbaker2016.com.
I am Catfish, baby.
So wait,
Woo!
so Ed, you're a 9/11 conspiracist? Like you believe the government did it, or?
Well, I don't like using the labels of truth or conspiracy theory and things like that. I think that if people look at how the towers came down, the majority of people don't realize that it wasn't just two towers that came down on 9/11. There was also World Trade Center 7.
It was the lizard people, baby.
It wasn't even.
I've seen them with my own eyes.
Slamborghini thinks it was the lizard people.
Who are the lizard people, Slamborghini?
Well, they live.
Do they live with the Gorgatron?
They are the foot soldiers of the Gorgatron. And I am the only one.
Are you the Moon Master?
Somebody asked me. I'm sorry, guys. I was just gonna say somebody asked me about the lizard people and asked me if I would offer them protection if I was president, so that they could come out. And I said I think they're good where they are, underground, whatever's going on with that. So I don't know much about the lizard people, but I have been asked about them before, so I know that there's some listeners out there that is important to.
You should do some research on them then if you want to know about, so you can answer those questions when people ask you what are the lizard people. And I was also curious, are you?
I made sweet, sweet love to a lizard woman one time. My dick got all chafed up because of her scaly vagina.
Did it get better?
It got better. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, baby. Yeah.
How was your stance on the homeless, Ed?
I certainly think that we need to address the homeless crisis where I live here in Portland. It's out of control. I was homeless for 14 months myself. I didn't have it as bad as most of the people. Most of that time I lived in a van that was more like a camper, but there are
down by the river.
Issue. And no, it wasn't.
I got a solution.
A parking lot.
What's your solution, Slambo?
I got a solution. We load them into a giant truck that has a giant blender, and we turn them into Soylent Green, baby.
Soylent
and it
Green.
feeds the hungry.
But it
Those
feeds the
that don't
homeless.
have food.
They eat themselves. Yeah.
They can eat each other. It's perfect.
What is your stance on same-sex marriages, Ed?
I'm all for equality, so it's not something where
Lesbians only, baby. Lesbians only.
I didn't go out and celebrate when the Supreme Court made their ruling. I think it should have been voted on state by state. But
Do you celebrate, Sambo?
but at the same time, I am for equality that way.
No.
No what?
I drink.
What do you feel about the homeless, Lambo? You gonna grind them up?
We're going to grind them up in special trucks.
Who do you think, Ed, has been the best president of the last 20 years?
Boy, I don't know if there was one. How far back does Ronald Reagan go? I think he had 8 years of Clinton, 8 years of Bush, 8 years of that's
30
further
years,
back.
baby.
So,
Yeah.
So Ronald was the last good one?
I'm not a fan of any of these last four.
You liked Reagan?
I would say that
Compared to these last four, but I'm 37, so
I would say that Kennedy was the last good president. He was
I like-
banging Marilyn Monroe, baby.
I liked Andrew Jackson. He was cool.
Who wouldn't want to do that? Yeah! Motherfucking Kennedy!
What is your follow-up to that, Slambo?
Kennedy was the man, baby.
What I want to hear what your stances are on gambling. Go, Slambo.
Gamble all you want, bitches!
Even like cockfighting?
Just fuck cockfight, dog fight, bird for whatever kind of fucking animals you want to throw in the ring. I like turkey fighting, baby. The turkeys get all violent and they rip each other's guts out.
You like the turkey neck.
It brings in revenue, motherfuckers.
What is your stance on gambling, Ed?
Well, I mentioned my becoming homeless. I had a gambling addiction that went back to my being pretty young and really got out of control. I think that people should be free to gamble if that's what they wish to do, but I think that we do need to look at who's gambling and from the standpoint that if people are getting welfare or government assistance and they're out gambling, I think that's a huge issue. So I don't exactly know how you regulate
Put
that.
them in the grinder trucks with the rest of the homeless.
What do you feel about that, Slambo? Grinder trucks.
I say it's gonna feed the hungry, motherfuckers.
Why are you so vulgar today? You've never gone this route, Slambo.
I'm saying it. I'm telling it how it is.
Are you affiliated with a
that out.
party, Slambo?
I'm with the Slamborghini party 2016, motherfuckers.
Oh my God. So have you lived in a van, Slambo?
No, I've always lived in a house made of gold, asshole.
What was your question, Slambo?
Ed, I was wondering what you think about all these females who are being possessed by demons because of masturbation.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, Slamborghini is, though.
Well, my old running mate was gonna stop that shit,
I have a clip of that.
so I had to kill him. Oops, I shouldn't have said that.
And it scares the shit out of me because there's many demons out there.
That sounds like you, Slamborghini.
I shouldn't have said that.
How do you guys feel about terrorism? Are you for that, Slambo, or against that?
I say we skin them all alive, and then we hang them out to dry. We hang them out to dry in front of Washington, D.C. And then the lizard people can chew on them afterwards. Woo! Truffle shuffle!
All right, Ed, we're going to have to wrap this up. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, and then we'll let you go.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on again, guys. And the best way to get up to date on my campaigns, go to Facebook.com/group/EdBaker2016. You can also go on my website, edbaker2016.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Ed. It was a pleasure.
Vermin Supreme
Take care, man.
2016. Vermin Supreme forever. Vermin Supreme 1,000 years.
All right, guys, we're going on break. We'll be back.